Yeah, we're live now. We're good. We're good. Alright, so welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
So today the topic is, we're going to call it dinosaurs and weird creatures in the Bible. There's a reason we're doing this.
Yeah, we'll explain that later though, because the Facebook people aren't going to hear it, are they?
Yeah, but they might be put off by the word Bible. Basically, we shared a meme about dinosaurs and Jesus shooing off a dinosaur, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we were literally inundated by about 3 people who said, no, this is actually true. And me and Gaz were like, no, that's bollocks. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, we're going to do, let's have a look at the top listeners for the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Finland. If anyone wants to take a stab at that one.
Jyväskylä.
Possibly.
Very well done.
Yeah. Sorry, I forget Mike is fluent in Finnish. Atzipan de Zaragoza in Mexico, New York. New York. It's a hell of a town, I hear.
Never sleeps, apparently.
Chilliwack, Canada.
Excuse me.
Chilliwack just sounds painful. San Jose, Costa Rica, Karachi, Pakistan, Manchester, United Kingdom, Orlando, Florida, Southeastern, I don't know where MA is. Massachusetts, even. Brookline, Massachusetts, Bangalore in India, welcome back. Nottingham, Guadalajara, welcome back. Winter Springs, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. Porterville, Missouri. Flint, Michigan, still back there. Little Rock and Benton, both in Arkansas. So, Arkansas, sorry.
Florida man was listening to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse whilst he sexually violated an alligator in Walmart. Yeah!
It's pretty mel. If you got the nuts to sexually assault an alligator. Unless he corked it.
What's in the news this week?
Well, I think before we launch onto weird news, we need to
excuse me.
We need to address the elephant in the room.
The dead elephant.
The dead elephant in the room. Hang on, isn't it? What's the symbol of the Republican Party? Is it an elephant?
It is, yeah.
That's quite out there, isn't it? Yeah. The death of Jeffrey Epstein. We broke the news a few weeks ago.
Of course.
We had an emergency broadcast that he was being done again for nonsense.
We
predicted he would be dead in his cell.
Along with about 500 million other people.
We predicted it first, Mike. Come on.
Oh, come on, it was fucking obvious.
So,
we're still good quality pundits for calling it out.
I think investigative journalists.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
In fact, I might become a prophet.
I wish we were making a fucking profit.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Send us your money. No, you're alright.
Say it like Bob Geldof. Give us the fucking money!
No, we don't want your money. It's alright.
What?
Well, unless you want to. Alright then. What do you reckon? Bumped off? Legitimate suicide? Taken off suicide watch 6 days ago?
What kind of facility was he in? I take it wasn't some shitty, low rent.
It was a fortress-like facility, apparently.
But he was in with the general populace, apparently.
Right, but still, like, in a conversation we had off air, Mike pointed out that Suicide Watch is actually a very successful thing when they want to keep a witness alive in prison. They tend to manage it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't manage it this time.
Even though he'd already been attempted suicide or suicided.
They never... Yeah, well,
they still don't know.
No, they still don't know the first time he tried. They don't know whether or not he was... someone did it to him. And his cellmate found him on the floor.
To be honest, right, okay, to play devil's advocate for a second. With all the news that's been coming out, it's quite likely that he had a target on his back just for being a weirdo who wanted to seed a new generation.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Bit of a world-class nonce. So somebody may have just wanted to kill him just for those reasons. But you've got to use your critical thinking mind. This man had dirt, as far as we know, on some of the most powerful men in the world.
And maybe women.
possibly, but mostly men.
Mostly men.
Honest.
Mostly men.
He had the dirt on these guys, the famous little black book.
We'll see if that actually does make an appearance. Allegedly, the police have got it.
Is this
whether or not that'll be burnt in the wrong bag of evidence or not, we'll never find.
What is it? Is it Occam's razor?
Occam's razor.
Occam's razor. The simplest solution is usually the truth. A lot of people wanted him dead, and he's now dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
lots of motives.
Yeah.
Well, if you're one of the people who was going to that island, flying on the Leisure Express to go off and have your merry way at the weekend.
You mean Bill Clinton?
I wasn't going to mention names. Allegedly.
He had like a fucking...
Apparently though, he's on that a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say he had like the equivalent of like a bus pass for the Lolita Express.
But he's a pensioner.
He had like a lot of air miles.
That's how he was building up his fucking air miles.
Exactly, flying back and forth from Pedo Island.
But I mean, and even the locals called it Pedo Island.
Oh,
you know what's going on there.
No smoke without fire.
But then you've got maybe Trump knew it, maybe Trump was visiting as well. They were big buddies back in the early 90s.
Prince Andrew.
Let's not forget Prince Andrew. I'd imagine there's a big sigh of relief in Buckingham Palace tonight.
We know that Trump likes the old Miss World pageant where, you know, they tend to be 16, 17, 18
Some of them,
year olds,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
they? We know he's got a special interest in that. He's quoted in old interviews saying that Mr. Epstein is a good buddy of his. He's now very quickly distanced himself from it. Okay, devil's advocate again. That could be because he found out Epstein's a pedo and he doesn't want to be associated with that. It could also be that he and Epstein used to do that kind of shit together, because I think that Epstein is essentially the pimp in this situation.
Yes, he's being done for trafficking as well, remember.
He was pimping out these underage girls to the quote, great and good of the world, and now he's fucking dead. So, who's your money on? Was it the royal hitman? Was it the Clinton hitman? Or was it a Trump-funded hitman?
CIA hitman.
So CIA on behalf of the president.
You're looking at the CIA, MI6, or someone the Clintons have hired.
Because the Clinton kill list just grows ever longer, and I find it absolutely fascinating that it's gone mainstream. Clinton kill list and Epstein, all this has been trending on Twitter. Yeah. For fuck's sake, this has gone from your shady Facebook groups and your conspiracy podcasts of the world, and this is now fucking mainstream news.
Well, that's it. I mean, remember that when he was first arrested, that whole Area 51 thing was probably launched as a distraction.
Could have been.
Because you didn't hear much of it when he was arrested, but there's nothing out there to distract at the minute. It's big news, and you got to realise that, my God, these people are fucking just, they don't even care anymore.
No.
You know, not even trying to hide it.
They're blatant. Because they are absolutely
above the law.
Untouchable.
Yeah.
Untouchable. So they can do what they want, and they do. And I just think it's so funny that literally the whole world... I did see some interesting memes that were like, for one day, all corners of the internet came together, Republican, Democrat, SJW, boomers. That's what they call the
old
baby
ones.
boom generation.
Yeah.
They're called boomers, apparently. All came together, unanimously state, well, this fucking stinks of shit, doesn't it?
It does. I haven't seen any internet comments saying, oh yeah, but he killed himself. Or there is a possibility, of course, he was replaced by a double. That double was then suicided and he's now living free somewhere.
That is always a possibility with these people. Because
Bit of plastic surgery, changes his face, he's back amongst the populace, who knows?
And he sets up Pedo Island too.
Yeah, pedo here.
That's how they're going to brand it.
Yeah.
More pedo than the first one.
Yeah. You shouldn't really be laughing at that, but...
More satanic rituals than ever before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
As we have touched on many times on this show, for some reason that we can't quite fathom, could be Satanism, could be something way beyond our comprehension or knowledge, but for some reason, these very powerful people seem intent on fucking young people and killing them sometimes. And dressing up in weird things and doing weird rituals.
And drinking the adrenochrome.
Because they're weird fucking people. There's shit that we'll never scratch the surface, we'll never know.
No.
We can only speculate. But that's what we do.
I think we've got some comments coming up.
We have, but we're such a fucking low rent operation that the screen is too far away for me to read the comments. Would you like me to make myself look a tool and walk right up there to the comments and read them?
It's alright. We'll get back to you after, if you're commenting.
You not check your phone?
I could do. Yeah.
That'd be easy, wouldn't it?
But I'm on.
I'm not much of a tech guy, but
I don't know. I want to get feedback because we're on.
you can mute
Turn
it,
your
can't
volume
you?
I am on mute. I'm on silent.
Well, there you go then.
Well, you know me.
What are these guys? We've been called wankers.
Probably.
Live on air.
No one's actually. I've got no comments on my thing apparently. So maybe it's just Facebook notifications.
Sweet Jesus.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's do the weird news.
And you
He
know
was
that-
killed. Let's face it.
You know that boom sound we were talking about?
Mm.
Yeah, it's phones too.
Sorry.
We make Mickey Mouse look like
Oh,
fucking
geez.
Shaft.
Let's do weird news.
It's part of our charm.
It is. It is.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
This article was sent in to us by a listener. David, I don't know how to say your last name, mate. View, I don't know. You sent it us on Friday night and I thought, yeah, we'll have that in.
Thank you very much. If anybody
Yeah.
else has any comments, questions, or links to news stories you'd like us to discuss, send them to the page. I think you can use Messenger, can't you?
Yeah, Facebook
Or
Messenger.
just put it in a comment. Thank you.
So what is Putin hiding? Emergency lockdown of Russian base after nuclear missile accident.
Wow.
Area of the White Sea has been shut off after the explosion, says an expert. The world is on alert after a rocket engine explosion on a naval test range in northern Russia was linked to a shock radiation spike. The Kremlin have confirmed that the rocket engine explosion, that's a quote, killed 2 people and injured 6. There are mounting concerns that the explosion took place during the testing of a new nuclear missile. Local people were reportedly urged to take precautions against radiation. According to the fears, the Arkhangelsk base, where the explosion took place, has been since placed on emergency lockdown with the nearby White Sea also closed. I also read somewhere they'd been stockpiling iodine tablets in the area and dishing them out.
No disrespect, Russia, but will you fucking leave off with the nukes?
Yeah.
'Cause you've
Nuclear
got-
stuff in general.
You're basically the equivalent of like a bumbling idiot who just keeps dropping a precious egg.
They're the equivalent
On
of
the
what would happen
museum
if we
floor.
had nuclear weapons and nuclear reactors.
Stop fucking about with it, you're too lackadaisical.
Yeah.
You're gonna get us all fucking killed.
Yep.
For the love of God. And not in like targeted, mutual assured destruction, in some stupid accidental fucking way.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, stop fucking about. You don't need a new nuclear missile. The ones you've got work. Leave it alone.
Fuck
Well,
me.
they do now, don't they? Because Trump has pulled out of the treaty, the nuclear treaty.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking so it's Trump's this fucking
Always
what's
leads back
it
to that.
fingered fucking fiend will just stop
Well,
destroying the
Well,
world.
let's also blame a bit of Boris. Not Boris, Putin himself, anyway.
Well, yeah.
Might as well call him Boris.
Yeah. You know, Putin's hardly guilt-free.
Boris is in charge of the nukes on our side.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, God.
Oh,
It just dawned on me.
he's going to press the wrong button and let's send the fucking launch codes, isn't he?
Oh, my God.
The test will go ahead as planned.
Oh, man. Mind you, I shouldn't say too much about Putin. He'll probably just come over here personally and kill me.
He'll just knock on your door and slap you. And wait for you to hit him back. He knows you won't, and he'll be like, "Yeah, see, I told you."
Well, he's a black belt in fucking taekwondo.
Exactly, that's what I'm
so
saying. I'm not going to hit him back. He'll just literally bitch slap you. Wait for the response that he knows isn't coming, and just say, "I knew it."
I just slipped some
And then
polonium
walk
in
away.
your beer.
Yeah,
No.
then I'm being injected with radioactive isotopes.
I like the idea that he personally like belittles you and destroys your sense of manhood, just strips it from you on your own doorstep, and you're just left as a shell of a man.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Bastard.
All right then, Ronda Rousey versus, because she's very good at judo, versus Putin.
I think he's got the strength advantage.
Nah, judo's a skill thing though, you know. I think a much smaller, more skilled judo player can take out. That's what they call them.
Oh, is it?
Judo players.
Didn't know
yes,
that.
can take out. And it's my understanding. I've been told. I could be wrong. With the right skill, you can take. It's one sport where you can take on someone much heavier than you
Yeah,
and
right.
bigger. Like in boxing, you genuinely can't. Like,
No, it
Yeah.
tells me who can punch hardest, doesn't it?
Yeah, but so yeah, Rousey versus Putin. Winner takes the free world.
That's a lot to put on a fight.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Is it to the death?
I just think the world would be better if we did things that way.
Well, no, because if we lost, we'd win the gulag.
Yeah, but then she'd really have to train hard, wouldn't she?
Well, so we're going to just have an 80s training montage for her.
Oh, yeah.
And then hope
It's
she
a
wins.
burning heart. It's about to burst.
Yeah.
It's a quest for answers and just something.
An unquenchable thirst.
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rocky 4, I know that fucking film backwards, mate. It's in that film more than the Dam Busters, and that's saying something.
Christmas time at Ben's.
No,
It's a
but
Dumbusters. Who's Rocky for?
the Zulu.
And Zulu.
Then I'm going to put on a vest and slap a woman. That's a joke. Ben would never do that.
No, I don't condone violence against women.
Yeah, you have the annual hunt. Hunt the homeless people around.
No,
On the back
no.
of your mighty steed.
The annual Christmas homeless hunt.
I'm too drunk. I don't move.
Charge!
No, I'm not really into the hunting thing, to be fair.
So no,
No.
me neither. Hunting's for losers
It's for people with small penises.
and hunters.
So yeah,
So, yeah, what's next?
the Russians are going to kill us all again.
Well,
Again.
I was thinking the other night, you know, like, if, say, as the conspiracy theory goes, and it's fairly mainstream, that Russian bots have been influencing society through social media.
Makes
And have
sense.
stirred up all this sort of tribalism in the Brexit thing, and in the US, obviously, you've got your Antifa versus your Nazis.
Quote
Yeah.
Nazis.
I don't believe that for a minute.
But if it's true, and you're Russia, aren't you just sitting back, just laughing all the way, just thinking, we've completely disrupted the fabric of the society of our two biggest rivals just with bot farms and memes
I
Yeah.
think they may have
and
stoked it a
social
bit.
media.
They may have stoked it a bit, but I think the division's already there, mate.
Yeah, but they pushed
They've
it
pushed
over
pushed
the
it, yeah.
It's absolute genius, comic book level evil mastermind, like just sitting back in Russia saying, look what we've done, and we didn't fire a bullet.
Yeah,
we did.
all that money we spent on nuclear weapons and tanks and rifles, and we've done it with a few memes.
Yeah, we just needed a few nerds in some office blocks, just farming out memes and comments, just stirring up arguments in chat rooms, and
Yeah.
wonderful. You crazy Russian bastards. Can you put it all back together, please?
I'm not going to do that.
Can you make us all like each other again? Unite us with something like... Maybe England could win something. Sporting.
Well, we nearly won the World Cup in Russia.
That's very true.
Fucking Croatia.
I blame the bots.
I blame us not being able to defend for fucking 86 minutes.
There is that. Also the bots. So what's next?
Next up, Bernie Sanders says he'll reveal the truth about aliens if elected president.
God
Yeah.
bless him.
I put this in because I've listened to most of the Joe Rogan podcast with Bernie, and he impressed me massively, to be fair.
Okay. I've never really listened to him before, but
He got a
he just
great
seems
voice.
really nice. I like his voice and his accent. He just seemed like a really down-to-earth, level-headed, sort of fairly sensible dude. Apparently he won over with... is that what this article is?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, apparently he did win over a lot of people that were maybe a bit Republican-leaning, but floating
heard that,
around
yeah.
in the middle. A lot of young people quite enjoyed it, apparently. A lot of Joe's demographic who wouldn't have ever given him time of day, basically.
And I'm glad, because I've been
Me
behind him since about 2015.
You have?
Yes, yeah. The thing
Good
is,
thing
it's
getting recognition.
just
now.
sensible. He's like, well, we can have free medical care for everyone. We can have free college education. And they're like, well, how is? Well, we just tax the fucking corporations who aren't paying anything.
We've already made billions.
The money, everything I suggest, it's been researched, it's been costed.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, we just tax the wealthiest among us so we can all have a better life.
He's not just pulling it out of his ass. And when he didn't have a straight answer, he was honest about, like, look, I've got no magic answer.
Yeah.
It's difficult, we'll get
During
there.
the 70s, the top tax was 93% at one point.
I bet it was.
And it was the Americans' boom time, the 60s, wasn't it? In the 50s.
50s, 60s, and
70s.
to a lesser extent the 70s. So yeah,
Wow, wow.
boom time.
That's my 70s noise.
Anyway, Joe Rogan asked the senator from Vermont in the final moments of an hour-long interview if he would tell the public about aliens and UFOs were he to find something out while in office. Well, I'll tell you, my wife would demand that I let you know, Sanders replied with a laugh, adding that she had pressed him in his role as senator for any information on aliens.
Doesn't have access to those records
Yet.
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 But I will say that he's not the only president or presidential candidate to say that.
Yeah, Hillary promised this. as
Hillary
well,
said
didn't
it, Bill said it, Trump on Space Force, which is probably telling us something in a veiled way.
I think so.
So, my question is, and the reason I chose this article, apart from the fact that I quite like Bernie nowadays, after listening to the podcast, is would he be allowed to say anything? Because he doesn't. Yes, he's president, but there's still people above him in terms of like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna. This is what we keep secret.
The deep state has more knowledge than the president.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. And they would they.
Just like Independence Day when they take the president down, he doesn't have a clue about it.
Yeah, he's like, how'd you get the funding for this? And the guy's like, well, you think they spend $30,000 on a hammer, $50,000 on a toilet seat? It's a black budget, and the president doesn't know what goes in the black budget.
Well, weren't they audited recently? Trillions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just unaccounted for.
Yeah, it's incredible, really, isn't it?
Spend it on space hookers.
Space hookers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I hope he's true to his word.
Yeah.
I hope he wins and then he's true to his word.
I think Trump's terrified of him, personally.
Yeah. It's in all the polls. He beats him.
Yeah, he did last time as well.
2016,
yeah, 2016. If it was Trump versus Bernie would have won hands down.
Can't trust the polls.
Well,
but the establishment want you to think that Biden is a favourite to beat him when he's not.
Yeah. I wouldn't even fucking have him. He looks Jerry. He looks senile.
I don't know who he is.
He was Obama's vice president for the 8 years, and he did nothing. Obama basically took centre stage, and Joe Biden just sat there nodding and smiling and giving the odd round of applause.
That's all he's got now, isn't it? He's like, I remember Obama days, they were good. I'm from them days, vote for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much his entire argument. You remember?
Is it a bit like
you remember when I was good?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Joe Biden remembers.
Is it a bit like the Rockers, the tag team? Shawn Michaels went on to be a global superstar. Marty Jannetty went on to be a drunk.
Did he get drunk?
Yeah, and a bit of a
That's
loser.
a shame.
But he's there going, yeah, but I was in the Rockers, man. I'm not responsible for Shawn's success. Give me a job. It's like, fuck you, Marty, you're drunk.
It's a shame because he was a really good wrestler.
He was very good, yeah, bless him.
They were a great tag team, though.
Never recovered from getting kicked through that barbershop window.
He didn't, did he? No, it was like it affected him in real life as well.
Yeah, it's still real to me. So,
was it Brutus the Beefcake's boy?
He was, yeah, was it? No way. He used to have
Yeah.
like a chat show segment
Yeah.
at the barber shop.
Oh, shit.
Real name Ed Leslie, once responsible for causing a terrorist panic
No
at
way.
the toll booth. In a low period in his wrestling career, he worked as like a toll booth operator, and he left a bag of cocaine in his workstation, which was mistaken for anthrax.
Wow.
Until he owned up. So yeah, what's next?
So Bernie says he's going to reveal. Oh, this I put this in. You know, we had that guy that fought of a cougar a few months ago. This guy's won my hardest bastard of the year award so far. He's taken the title away from Cougar Attack Man.
Okay then, let's get into it. Canadian survives grizzly bear attack by stabbing it with pocket knife. Wow.
Yeah.
Man fought back after being bitten in stomach, thighs and thrown into ditch.
Has anybody ever seen that film with Leonardo DiCaprio?
The Revenant.
That's it.
I have not.
It's quite a good film. And the
I
bear
haven't
bit
seen
in
it.
it is brutal.
He does fight a bear for a
Yeah.
long time, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's proper brutal.
I've seen memes. A Canadian man survived an encounter with a grizzly bear who bit him in the stomach and thighs by stabbing it with a pocket knife. Colin Dowler was mountain biking on a remote logging road on Mount Doogie Dawler, named after his grandfather in British Columbia, when he rounded a corner and saw the bear. The 45-year-old stopped his bike and was assessing his options when the bear began walking
That's
towards
the first
him.
mistake, you stopped.
You turn around and fuck off as fast. You're going downhill, it ain't going to catch you.
I don't know if that's the right advice though. I don't know if the advice is to walk or not. I don't know what. I think the advice is try not to die, because
Well, that's the advice in any given
not a lot
situation.
you can do.
Crossing the road, try not to die.
You
Drinking a
can't-
beer, try
the
not to
thing
die.
is,
That's
people
it.
say climb up a tree, but apparently they climb up them quite easily,
Yeah.
and they just pull you out the tree.
Is it gorillas that you turn your back and stand your ground?
You go.
No,
You're
no,
not
when they,
meant to look it in the eyes. I know that
no,
much.
I'm sure it's gorillas. You have to stand your ground but not look at them.
You just show them your cock. fucking check that out. Fuck off, you little stubby prick.
Unless that massive 9 foot tall silverback goose hung like...
No, see, because I've seen documentaries, apparently the bigger they have tiny little cocks. There's some biological reason, but the big giant monkeys have tiny little ones. Yeah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, listener. I don't care. You're the fact checker. So anyway, he was assessing his options. I did a bit of stuttering there. As he got closer, Dorler said he attempted to deploy his bike and a hiking pole as a makeshift shield and weapon.
I like how he went straight to the Captain America shield.
Yeah, I like his thinking.
Yeah.
After the bear started taking heavy swipes at him, he threw his bike at it, but undeterred, the bear bit him in the stomach, then picked him up and dropped him into a ditch roughly 50 feet, that's 15 metres away, before taking deep bites into his thighs.
Let's just stop there, right? Picture, this bear has bit you around the stomach, it picks you up, and then carries you 50 feet. That is...
Throws you that far.
No, I think
down
people carried him... Well, dropped
him into a 50-foot ditch.
50-foot ditch. A 50 foot is roughly from the goal line to the halfway line of a soccer pitch.
Just think about what happens to your ego when an animal picks you up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're as grown men, you're not used to being picked up very much. If one of your mates does it to you, it feels weird. You're like, fuck off, put me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, an animal just goes, shit cans you down a ditch. Oh fuck, nightmare material.
Just a bit.
If I had a gun, I'd start using it on myself at this point.
Let's use it on the fucking bear first.
No, I'd be too terrified and traumatised at this point. Like, I ain't recovering from leg bites.
I don't
want them nightmares.
Then your family won't receive your half-eaten remains.
Fuck them. I don't want to live through this. Okay, so he says, Mr. Dorler, I thought I wasn't going to make it. It was pretty freaking scary.
I bet he didn't say freaking. Oh, she's Canadian, he probably did.
Dorler told Canada's public broadcaster CBC, I could hear the teeth on my bone, he told the North Island Gazette. In an interview with the BBC, Dorler recalled trying to negotiate with the bear before the attack.
Makes sense to me.
I know this is your territory, I'm just passing through and we don't have to do this, he said he told the bear. It was so much pain and weirdness, I could feel the hot blood, he said. I am being ragdolled, suspended by my flank by a bear carrying me.
Literally got you around the stomach and you're just...
He added, there was a point, I was scared the whole time, but I thought, man, it would be cool to be catching this on video.
That's a fucking...
Modern generation. Yeah. I know I would have had that thought as well.
Hang on, I'm going to get my phone in my pocket, I'm going to live stream this.
After trying to gouge out the bear's eyes and briefly playing dead, he managed to reach for his pocket knife and stab the bear in the neck with its 2-inch blade. There was a rush of blood and the bear let go and retreated, Dorler said. Losing blood and needing to find help, he put pressure on his wounded leg using a shirt sleeve and cycled 4.5 miles to a logging camp where he collapsed. Workers treated his wounds before emergency services gave him a blood transfusion and then an air ambulance took him to Vancouver's General Hospital about 185 miles to the south. Conservation officers later shot the bear and said they were confident it was the same one because it had a knife wound in its neck. They added it was 350 pounds, it's 159 kilograms, for a 5-year-old male grizzly. Unprovoked bear attacks of the kind described by Dorler are extremely rare.
Wow.
What a sight.
I hope they checked it had the knife wound in its neck before they shot it.
Yeah, if I just shot the first one.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Fuck them.
Oh, thank God for that, it's got a knife wound in its neck.
Well, they ain't like in the cartoons. They're not like Baloo and Yogi. They're like really mean. They eat their babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of male bears eat their babies, so the mum ones have to fight them off quite viciously.
Not their own babies. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
or
it's
is it another person?
yeah.
I think they might eat their own.
If the mother bear is sort of ready to receive or whatever, the other male will come and kill the cubs to the other male. So
it's passing the genes along, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm sure that's true, probably. But I'm sure I heard that they will, in times of desperation,
could be
literally eat their own rather than die themselves.
Yeah, they do look really cute
If
and
they're
fluffy
starving.
and everything, but they certain time they will just rip you in pieces if they get the chance. I watched a good video in the week actually where a bear got in someone's inflatable swimming pool in the garden and was just swimming around, and it's like they're in the window filming it like we need to do something, and they're like, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
Wait till he's tired.
Let it enjoy himself and then let him fuck off.
My advice is never go anywhere where bears live.
Yeah.
stay in
I
Telford.
do like the fact he tried to use a sort of a shield with his bike and spear combo.
I
That's
like
kind
his
of cool.
thinking, man. Yeah, I'll fight this thing like a knight of old.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Well, I think that concludes the news.
it does. Alright, so let's crack on with the main cut and thrust of today's topic. Dinosaurs and other weird shit in the Bible, weird creatures in the Bible. We've got an article here to totheends.com. I'm guessing this is some kind of creationist website as much as mine was.
I did say to you off mic, didn't I, when I tried to research dinosaurs in the Bible, the first 2 pages of Google results were all pro this being true.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any rebuttals. It was all Bible websites and Christian websites, all proclaiming to all sorts of stuff like, what do I do when my child asks about dinosaurs? Things like that. How does it fit?
Yeah.
So yeah, there wasn't much, because I don't know whether that's just because there are so many Christian websites, or whether it's just because people like us that aren't into the Bible don't need websites to tell us that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the default position, isn't it?
Yeah, 65 million years ago, there were some dinosaurs, they predate us. Carbon dating has verified this. There you go. Simple as, isn't it?
Pretty straightforward.
Science has said these things are 65 million years old, unless we're being lied to.
We've been lied to about the version of history and the timeline. Oh fuck, it boggles
Like
the mind.
everybody, every geologist.
Yeah.
Every single geologist, every single scientist, every single evolutionary biologist.
Every single paleontologist.
Yeah.
That's how conspiracies
Anthropologist.
work.
And I refuse to believe that Alan Grant would lie to me.
He's not a real paleontologist.
Yes, he
He's
is.
the only one you can name.
Richard Dawkins is an evolutionary biologist. I can name one of
It's not
them.
the same thing. He's not real. It's just like my favourite policeman isn't called Martin Riggs. Because he's not real.
My favourite policeman's called Jack Frost.
Mine's Nick Frost.
I suppose if you go in there that road, I was thinking TV police or Boone.
Okay.
Pat Boone, maybe.
We just lost all the American listeners.
Sorry. Okay,
So
we might lose a few after this anyway.
Oh shit!
I can see the Arkansas guys not going for this. No offence, listeners.
So what do the ends have to say, Ben?
They say, there are many references to dinosaur-like creatures, or if you prefer the older name, dragons in the Bible. This is not unique to scripture. Ancient literature from around the world is filled with references to these frightening monsters, which display many striking similarities to one another, as well as to modern scientific descriptions of dinosaurs and other extinct reptiles. These globe-spanning similarities are hard to explain if the creatures mentioned in these ancient texts are purely mythological. How did ancient people around the world know about these animals, and how they looked and acted as if they'd never seen them alive? Modern science has been dramatically wrong about dozens of so-called living fossils, quote, animals supposedly extinct for millions of years, but still happily living today. Might it be dramatically wrong about the dinosaurs? Could some dinosaurs have become extinct only in relatively recent times? Well, we've got Nessie. Living up in Albania nowadays.
Godzilla. Crocodiles, they're dinosaurs, aren't they?
Technically.
Yep.
And alligators.
And birds.
Birds, yeah.
Allegedly evolved into dinosaurs.
From dinosaurs.
From dinosaurs, yeah.
So that bit could be. But then wouldn't we have fossil records of those dinosaurs that were around, and then we'd be able to tell, oh hang on, these ones died a bit later, after the cataclysm.
Well, that's it, innit? I mean, surely the further you go down, you would have passed the stages.
Because the ones that were around when Moses was around, or whoever, he was the first Bible person I could think of.
I think we're talking Noah at this point. We're Old Testament. Well, we're further back in we're in Genesis, really.
Sega. So surely I've lost my point.
Well, I think what it is like it's like pyramids, isn't it?
Yes.
There's pyramids all around the globe.
Right.
Why are they all pyramids? Well, the answer to that is because it's the easiest shape to fucking make. You're just piling rocks on top of one another to a point.
Okay.
But, like, well, the Chinese have got dragons. This culture's got dragons. This culture's got dragons. Why have they all got dragons? Why are they all the same? They must have seen them.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did. Maybe there was a race of dragons that we hunted to extinction.
Komodo dragons, maybe they were similar and they lived in Europe.
Well, we
And
do
Asia.
have lizards in this
Yeah.
country. You don't see them
You
very
do get
often,
them
but
in a-
we do have them. And you go to Spain, you see the little ones. You usually find them in your apartment fucking complex at some point.
your
even in Milan.
In your arse.
In your ass.
Well, you did an holiday.
Iguanas.
Oh, well,
In his ass.
In my ass.
Even in Milan, in the city, the cat
Wow.
catches little ones. They're about that
That's
big.
brave, isn't it?
Put an iguana in your ass.
Iguanas, about that
No,
big.
no, in Milan when I was there, the cats catch and kill tiny little lizards about that big. Like I'm holding up about an
A
inch.
gecko.
For the. I'm not sure what it is. It's like a little. I found half of one and was a bit freaked out, and then my friend was just like, "Oh yeah, there's like loads of them, and the cats catch them." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Fair enough.
I suppose it's the same as birds and mice over there in here, but in Italy
I
they
once
catch lizards.
saw
Why are we
ants
talking about
take down a bee in Spain.
that? Wow, how did they manage that out of the sky?
Flying
They
ants.
build a ladder out of themselves.
Those flying ants,
Flying
guys.
ants.
Oh, flying.
No, no, it wasn't. It was on the ground. The bee was
Right.
on the ground.
As the bee was
Oh.
only weakened.
Yeah, when I got there, it was like there was just an
When I got there.
When I arrived on the scene,
Right, let's see.
you're not in court, man.
You're doing a witness testimonies. I don't care if you killed the ants or the bee after.
I didn't do anything. I was just the observer.
I saw it all happened, officer.
Well, there was a bee.
Yeah.
There was about 4 ants. Like
Oh,
grabbing
shit.
its legs.
Oh no, pulling it apart.
Trying to, yeah. There was like a bit of
Evil.
a scuffle, and then more and more ants joined and joined and joined until they overpowered it and just carried it off
Oh.
Wow.
into a crack in the wall.
To eat it alive.
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine if this was a bug's life, you'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
See, nature's a cunt. It really, when people, I love nature.
I
No,
was about 10, I
nature's
thought it was the
horrible.
most awesome thing I've ever seen. I was like, wow.
It's like something from a Conan movie.
Mm.
Oh well. So what the fuck are they saying?
They're saying that in the book of Job, or Job, I think it's Job,
I think it might be Joe.
yeah. It's in Job 40, 15, 24. The creature mentioned here, a behemoth, is a huge herbivorous 4-footed beast with bones as strong as bronze. That's 40, 15, 18. The obvious clue, this is not a hippo or an elephant, as often interpreted, is a description of its tail, which he bends like a cedar tree, 40, 15. 40, 17. The cedars of the Middle East, such as the famous cedars of Lebanon, were very large trees. That's hardly an appropriate description for the tail of a hippo or an elephant.
This is their main bit of evidence as well. This
Yeah.
is their main one. They said it had a big thick tail like a tree. I mean, is that it? Wasn't the Bible translated or was it written in English?
No, it was written in Hebrew or Sanskrit, and then it
Oh,
was
well, fuck
translated into Greek, and then
At the moment, this is probably what, St. James' Bible?
yeah, they're probably taking this from the St.
It's
James.
like fucking
What year
Chinese
was that?
whispers.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're talking, oh god, like early 1600s.
And
late
didn't he change a
1500s.
lot?
We had people who didn't really know Latin anymore, because at that point we got rid of the Catholics who did Latin. So Latin understanding wasn't amazing in the country.
So they're hanging this on one word. Thick tail like a tree. Could be absolute.
I'm trying to think. So
Bollocks.
we've gone from ancient Hebrew to fucking Greek, then Latin. Then remember that the only people writing this thing down are monks who are just copying over and over again. So stuff gets changed. They probably
Yeah.
depending
And
on
then
the
so
depending
that's
on the guy's level of translation.
Yeah.
You know, not every monk is going to be fluent in
And the
Greek.
bias of that person translating, he might
Yeah.
not like that bit. I'll leave that bit out.
Yeah.
I've got a better bit actually. I'll write this. This sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
So we've gone through all those languages to
Until
where
we
we
get
are
to,
now.
to get to English,
and
to
to
King
get
James.
and in the future it will be gibberish where they say Giza,
Yeah.
and the evolution will be complete.
Jesus said, Giza!
And lo, he did rise.
And then he proceeded to aggressively hump the young lady, although she did not want him to hump her.
See our Threads episode, the
Yeah.
explanation of that.
If you're confused by the last few seconds, yeah, please see our Threads episode.
And then you'll be horrified
Yeah.
and traumatised.
But you'll think we're hilarious.
We did make that film funny.
Did a good go, yeah, we had a good
Did
go.
our best
Yeah.
with the material at hand.
Soldiered on through it.
Yeah. Anyway, this matches perfectly with several different species of sauropod dinosaurs, such as the Apatosaurus, previously identified as a Brontosaurus. His great height is indicated by the phrase, "The mountains lift up food to him," 40-20. This implies that he stood taller than trees, and he seems to have spent much of his time in the water.
A lot of room for
Yeah.
interpretation there.
Under the lotus plants, he lies down in the shelter of the reeds and the marsh. 40:21. His size and power do not match any living species. Will anyone capture him while he's on watch? Will he pierce his nose with snares? That's actually a Bible quote, Job 40:24. Just after this, Job mentions Leviathan, Job 41:1-34, which closely matches some kind of plesiosaur or other aquatic sea-going reptile of great mass and strength, but of limited mobility on land, Nessie.
Well, there you go. Could be.
Yep, go back to our Nessie episode.
There's lots of big shit in the sea
Yeah.
that they didn't have names for.
I mean,
There's all
we're
sorts of
still...
myths.
I mean, how often is it people see a giant squid?
Exactly.
Very rare, but we know they exist.
Yeah. And back then it wouldn't have been the internet. It would have been rumour and
Yeah, well, look
Yeah,
at
you know
people
people
that
are
crazy
like,
old
yeah.
bloke in the village reckons they saw
yeah.
one.
Well, look at
People exaggerate and
Yeah.
embellish, don't
you
they?
go back through history. You go back to like pre-Renaissance, because the Renaissance is when everyone got educated again. You're talking about 1536 when that kicked off. Everyone got educated again. People
Yeah.
started to actually want to accurately record things. You had before that, you had the Dark Ages, where the only people who had any sort of education were priests. Your average bloke minding his dung farm did not know how to read or write. He went to church every Sunday, and he was told.
He's a right idiot, he's got a dung farm.
Well, I was thinking Monty Python.
Yeah.
Old MacDungy had a farm. Shitty, squirty shit. Splat. And on that farm he showed some shit.
Ain't sold no shit. Oh yeah.
Shit prices are down.
Oh, this dark age economy.
I knew I should have had turnips.
Oh, man. So what is so depressing about farmers? I went to uni in Aberystwyth, which is a seaside town in Wales. And I was sitting in the doctor's office. There's nothing wrong with me, but you had to register at the doctor's when you go to uni, just in case. So I'm sitting there in a Welsh doctor's for my first time.
Is everything in Welsh?
Both. Everything's in both. And I'm sort of absent-mindedly looking through the leaflets. And one of them is a leaflet specifically aimed at suicidal farmers.
No way.
Because such a massive percentage of them, and it said so in the leaflet, because of the lonely hours, the unsocial hours, the being out on your own, the pressures, the financial stress, a big fucking percentage of them just put a shotgun in their mouth or something else like that, and it was like a specific charity helpline for suicidal farmers.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
Oh man, you just reminded me of an episode of British daytime soap Heartbeat, where there's the foot and mouth crisis and the farmer kills himself with a shotgun.
Oh.
But the only reason I remember it is because Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin's playing.
Nights in white.
He's burning all his
satin.
cattle and he's...
Here, I'm going to eat both bloody barrels.
He's watching his cattle burn, he strokes his faithful collie dog, and then he puts a shotgun under his chin and... It's quite a dark episode.
That ruined that song for you forever.
No, I really like that song.
Nights in white satin.
Really like that song, actually.
Me too. Great song. How do you say it? Pokal Harem? Something like
No, it's the Moody Blues.
Oh.
You're thinking Pokal Harem, you're thinking White Shade of Pale.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Which
So-
my parents danced to at their wedding. Didn't go well. After that.
Strange that.
I blame my dad's music tastes.
Like dancing. Please release me. Let me go.
But that's not Pokal
For
Harem.
some reason it never worked out for that couple.
Let's continue with this. It's not an alligator, as often interpreted. It is clear from the impossibility of killing him, even with many harpoons and other weapons. That's 41:7, 26-29. This too was a huge creature, as can be seen by the crashing sound he made when he beached himself, and the violent stirring of the water when he returned to the deep. Quote, he causes the deep to boil as a pot. He makes the sea as a pot of ointment. 41:31.
Wow.
Once in the water, he trailed a large white wake behind him. Quote, after him, he causes a wake to shine. One would think the deep to be white-haired. 41:32.
Big whale.
Yeah.
Or Nessie.
Or Jaws.
Jaws.
Or
Aren't
it's
they
a long-
technically dinosaurs?
Yeah,
Sharks.
I think
So
they are,
they
yeah.
go back.
What was it
well.
called?
They're not dinosaurs.
Megalodon.
They go back Megalodon, yeah.
Megalodon.
Mega shark, basically.
Versus Mecha Shark. Quality film
Sure.
from the asylum. It's dog shit, but I love it. So
So there we go. So we've got this. At this point, we've got the big water beast, but then the fire that sprang from his mouth is a standard part of dragon legends from around the world. And then we go to 41:18:21. From his mouth, burning torches go out, sparks of fire escape.
well, maybe because they like to be all interpretative, and to read the subtext into this and all that. Well, maybe that just means like a Komodo dragon. It has a poisonous bite.
Yeah.
Fire comes from its mouth. Poison.
Ow, it burns.
Exactly. So.
And, I mean, they literally think this is the word of God.
Yeah. God wrote the Bible, that's it. He communicated it down to the
Yeah.
people, to the guys who wrote it.
So they believe this word for word.
Right.
Whereas we're like, hang on a minute, this has been retranslated over and over again.
Shit.
And remember the Old
Different
Testament
languages.
as well is like just made up of scriptures and put together.
It's just stories and tales.
I mean,
People are going to embellish it if you go outside and said, I saw something, it was about 3 foot high and brown and hairy. People will just be like, well, what of it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, no Short Dave.
So about my ex.
Hairy Dave.
Short Harry Dave. Drinks down the wickets, you know him.
He's got a lovely dog. Bigger than him.
Yeah. He shouldn't really have that Great Dane.
Drags
But he
him
can
out
ride
from
on
the
his
pub.
back if he wants to.
Right.
Anyway, it's hard to explain such uniform testimony, and that is based on some actual characteristic of certain species of ancient reptiles.
So, on one hand, you've got the science community with evidence-based research, or this.
Some questionable eyewitness testimony from over 2,000 years ago that's been retranslated at least sort of 6 or 7 times, probably more.
Is this where the idea for the Flintstones came from?
Well,
the Bible?
is the Flintstones actual history? That's what we might as well be looking at here.
I don't know, but they are a Stone Age family.
Because, I mean, when
They
you
are
go
a
to...
page right out of history.
Oh my god, Hanna-Barbera was a fucking creationist.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you go to the Ark encounter in Kentucky, if anyone wants to fancy that, or any listeners in Kentucky, you've been there, tell us about it, we'd love to know. They've got like animatronics of little triceratopses pulling plows and children sort of playing with it after, and
To be
making
fair,
sort of
those
family
plates,
pets.
the plates of a Stegosaurus would be good for attaching things too.
Oh, is it the triceratops with the
Oh,
horns?
Triceratops, sorry, yeah, with the horns.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it would be very useful.
It would, until that Triceratops one day decided to gore you. He's like, I ain't pulling your plow anymore, bitch.
Okay, so there's a few things to take from that exhibit. So it's proposing that not only did we exist at the same time as dinosaurs, we also managed to domesticate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the Triceratops's horns go all floppy?
Oh, like a puppy. When it's young, they're floppy horns, and as they
Yeah.
get older, they perk up.
But if we did domesticate them, then what happened to them? Because
Well, they
the
were
rest of the
garbage
animals are here.
disposal, like in the Flintstones, weren't they?
Yeah, I know, but they'd still be here, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, but the meteor hit, didn't it?
I mean, we
Well, no,
dogs
they
and
didn't.
cats had a specific reason why we domesticated them. Now they're just used as pets, but
What did cats have a real ratting, I suppose? Yeah.
Okay, well, you keep talking. I'll tell you some of the jobs that dinosaurs did back then. I will just find
See,
out.
you're saying, well, it's balls, isn't it? I mean,
I did love that
they were-
dinosaur though on the toilet in the Flintstones.
Oh.
Hey, you think you've got a crappy job?
Oh god, yeah, they are literally shitting into his mouth. Who clears up here? Why would you even take that job? If he's like, oh, you think you've got a crappy job, let's interpret it that, right?
Yeah.
He's applied for that job to Fred to be his personal toilet. Would you fancy to be in Fred's personal toilet after he's been bowling with the guys on Sunday night, got pissed, driven home drunk with a dinosaur next to him, and then gone had the beer shits the following day? Would you want to be his toilet?
Is
Not
that a
really, no.
velociraptor kebab?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
could I read you some of the jobs that animals did back in the day?
Of course.
Of course, this is based on the Flintstones. But bird aeroplane, bird alarm clock, bird automatic door opener.
You wouldn't want the bird
broom,
alarm clock because he fucking smacks it every morning, doesn't he?
Bird camera, bird car horn, bird clothespins, bird crotcheting needles, bird fire starter, bird hedge clipper, bird intercom. There's cat brooms, there's dinosaur time clocks, dinosaur mowers, dinosaur elevator lift, dinosaur drawbridge, dinosaur crane, dinosaur automatic ball pitcher, monkey lights. The list goes on. Triceratops juicer, a turtle car jack. So, you know, humans domesticated them and used them for many,
And
many
Why
years.
did they die out if that happened?
Because we
Overworked,
worked them
Mike.
to death. They were slaves.
It was a generational genocide. Self-inflicted generational genocide. There you go.
Right.
Trademark
Look at
that.
for a term.
Trademark that, yeah.
We did that in about 1,000 years?
Yeah,
less?
we depressed them to the point where they were like, oh, we don't want to live.
I mean, that one that Fred sat on, he's not a
Yeah.
small bloke either.
The crapper, like you said.
He sat on the back of that brontosaurus that's just picking rocks out of a cliff and dropping them in a pile all day.
There's no
and then
life.
Fred gets to go home.
Yeah.
You never see what happens to him, do you?
Well, he gets to
Dinosaur?
bang the ultra hot Wilma Flintstone.
Right, what's that brontosaurus doing? He's with
Chained
us,
up.
He's chained up and he's in the quarry.
Yeah, of
Cold, no blanket,
Yeah.
nothing.
Thinking of its mother, who he
Yeah.
was torn away from.
Yeah, I think I wish you'd have to dig these rocks out of this cliff all day.
Ah, well, get fucking working, you big pink bastard.
Yeah.
There's rocks that
And-
need moving.
And the whistle is the bird, as we said. And what's
Yeah.
the foreman do? He looks at his watch, pulls the bird's tail violently. It
Yeah.
makes a scream. Oh, that's it. Knocking off time.
It's animal abuse all around.
Yeah.
It was a sucky time for them, Mike, which is why they committed, what did I call it? Self-inflicted generational
You see, if only they'd
genocide.
taken over the means of production.
And they could have.
If there was a dinosaur Marx, they would have been alright.
I'd imagine they would repress the point where there wasn't. They probably weren't educated like.
They were just treated as dumb animals that
Yeah.
they were, with their little walnut-sized brains.
Never
I
saw a
went on short
T-Rex in the
animals.
Flintstones though, did you?
No,
T-Rex
nobody-
ain't taking no shit.
Nobody fucked with them. So yeah, I think we've solved that. That's essentially all. Sorry about the noise, listener. That is essentially all their argument is based on, though, isn't it? I'm basing mine on the Flintstones. Well, why is theirs any different?
Yeah.
I know who made mine, though. That's the difference. Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
God rest
Pretty much
his
done
soul.
that as well.
So is there scriptural evidence, though?
We've just been through it.
Well, there
Yeah,
is
well,
scriptural
yeah.
evidence. There's some in Genesis as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Although we cannot travel back in time to see the first dinosaurs, we do have an eyewitness report from the only person who was on hand to observe their origin. God himself.
Oh, cockwash.
On the fifth day of creation, God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:21. NAS, I don't know if that's the version of the Bible, NAS, or... It's not Genesis, is it Genesis? This is from genesispark.com.
Nas is a rapper. Has he done a collaboration with Genesis?
Oh, God.
I can preach. I can pray.
I love that song. I like Genesis.
And I can't abide by people being gay.
Only mentioned in the Old Testament, not in the...
Don't know, like I said.
Yeah, Jesus
read
never
it.
mentions it.
I haven't got a problem with the gays, just to point out for the listener.
I think it's something like the quote is something like, the man who lies with another man should be stoned. It helps,
Well,
probably.
I was going to say, yeah, having sex when high is always awesome. Just a little health tip for the listener.
These sea monsters would include plesiosaurs and great swimming reptiles. The flying creatures would have been created on the same day, including the great reptilian plesiosaurs that once filled the skies of the early earth. There is no question that the straightforward, plain teaching of God's words leads one to believe that dinosaurs and man coexisted. God himself declared, I don't know, it's God voice, "For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day." Exodus 20:11. That's King James Bible, KJV. And the pattern of God's literal 6-day creation and Sabbath rest is an example for his followers to set aside a day of rest and worship every week. Dinosaurian creatures were created on the 6th day alongside man, Genesis 1:25, and the two coexisted thereafter. There are a number of fascinating biblical passages.
Yeah, we've been through it.
Yeah.
That's it, basically.
That's all I've got for the dinosaurs. Well, I've got to say, I'm not convinced. Although, do you want to hear an amusing tale? As I touched on last week, I watched Jurassic Park 3, and obviously I'm a massive Transformers fan.
Yeah.
And I was a big dinosaur fan as a child as well.
Who wasn't?
Exactly, but in Jurassic Park 3 the other weekend, when the pterodactyl style thing showed up, my first thought was like, he's shaped exactly like Swoop from the Dinosaurs. Fucking idiot.
Did I tell you the other week I'd watched most of Generation 1's first season? Yeah. Just when the Dinobots come in. Holds up, it does hold up. Definitely.
Excellent.
So we're not going with the dinosaurs then? Maybe it's
afraid
open
not.
interpretation.
I'm not
We're
convinced.
sticking with the scientific model then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Flintstones is gospel.
I might go
Or
for
the
some
Bible.
form of the dinosaurs escaped underground and turned into the reptilians that rule us today.
Okay, I'm more down for that.
You know,
Always a
but they were
possibility.
before us. I'm not saying we lived with them. You know, they appeared out of the caves as gods to our Neolithic ancestors.
Dinosaurs. Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're pretty curious, aren't we? I think we would have found their underground tunnels.
Yeah, and those that found them would have been eaten.
Dispatched. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe that's what it is. We're just a breed. We're just a farm for them to feast
Cattle.
upon. Yeah, we're just cattle.
No. Less.
Well, we are the bewildered herd, according to
No,
them.
it's just, and what are we called in the Bible? We're the flock, aren't we?
Of course we are.
We're the sheep. It said that in the Bible. Jesus will return to look after his flock. The shepherd. It's all there, man. I'm a believer.
Rah. That was my dinosaur noise.
I've been reborn.
You have, in your own image.
Nice.
So what have we got here?
So what else we got in the Bible? We've got the Nephillim, and everyone will fucking the Nephillim.
Big tall people like the Big Show.
Maybe. Could be anything, we don't know. Genesis 6 and Numbers 13, pre-flood and post-flood, mention the term Nephilim, and that has been the centre of discussion for many years. So in Genesis 6:1-6, now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God, Bene Elohim, saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whomever they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, because he also is flesh. Nevertheless, his days shall be 120 years. I have no fucking idea what that's getting at, apart from...
Well, saying that men will live 120 years.
Well, that's not true.
Well, I think the oldest people get to about 120, don't they?
Yeah, but we all don't.
No, we don't all. But he says it will not be past 120 years.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't think anyone's sort of... I think 125 or something's the record, isn't it?
There's some Japanese woman was in the 120s not so long back. Maybe 130? Someone, Gaz, do some live research.
Huh?
Oldest person in the world
Ever to live.
ever to live. Apart from Noah, obviously, he was like 900.
And Methuselah.
Oldest
Oh, yeah.
person who ever lived. According to this criterion, the longest human lifespan is that of Jean Calment of France from 1875 to 1997, who lived to age 122 years, 164 days.
Well, that's fucked that at the fucking equation, hasn't it? That's not there at the park.
Well, he's just been roughly 120 years.
Oh my god, he's fucking omnipotent!
Incidentally, she died in 1997, but she actually met Vincent van Gogh
No way.
when she was 12.
Wow.
And he probably was very
Maybe he forgot to carry the one with some equation. That's all.
You've been born again
Well,
as
maybe
well.
it's all absolute fucking
The
tiddlywink.
science officer's gone been born again.
Praise the Lord! I've seen the
Preach.
light!
Preach to me, Mike, preach.
The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And then we go to Number 13, 30, 33. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "We shall by all means go and take up possession of it, for we will surely overcome it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, for they are too strong for us." So they gave out to the sons of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied on, saying, "The land through which we have gone in spying it out is a land which devours its inhabitants, and all of the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. There we also saw the Nephillim, the sons of Anak, and we became like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight." Wow. So basically there's some big strong dudes who come down and go, "Ooh, we like the look of your earth girls. We'll have a bit of that."
Earth Girls Are Easy, that's the plot to that movie, isn't it?
There's a film called that, yeah.
It doesn't say they were live, does it? They could have been statues.
No, that's true.
Or robots.
Men like to build big statues of themselves.
There is a theory that these are the fallen angels, though. Fallen angels or angels. Or aliens. Could be aliens.
Robotic aliens?
Maybe. If they can reproduce.
You know, you told me off mic you've been watching recently the Transformers Series 1. Did at any point when someone said Lord Megatron, did you think of me?
No. Actually, didn't even come into my head. At all.
Liar. Moving on.
Moving on.
Yep, I'm sorry.
In short, we've got the fallen angels view.
Right.
Satan and or his fallen angels, bred with human women and an offspring that were called Nephillim.
Fair enough. It's better than calling them mixed race, I suppose.
No racism here.
More enlightened times.
Fallen angels overtook men.
Okay.
Fallen angels and or Satan possessed men and caused them to breed with women.
On their behalf, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
host body.
Yeah, host body, parasites, you know.
Alright.
We've got the Setihite view. The sons of God were the godly line from Adam to Seth down to Noah, and the Nephilim were fallen children who sought after false gods. Maybe. And we have the fallen men view. Godly men, sons of God, took ungodly wives and their descendants, the Nephilim, followed after the false gods, rejected God, and fell far from God in wickedness.
Or none of the above.
And they were aliens.
And I think more than likely aliens, in all fairness.
I believe that more.
Yeah.
Well, David Icke, you know, that whole thing, they are part, the Nephilim, of that whole thing, the storyline of power and things. And weren't the Nazis looking for these mystical, or was that the Nordics?
Nordics.
For?
Yeah.
They're all part of the same cosmic DNA stew.
But aren't the guys who live on Planet X called the Nephilim? Oh, the Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
What's this on that contactee that we have on Weird Alex? Wasn't he talking to the Nephilim?
Don't think so.
Nah, Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
It was Anunnaki and somebody else.
Or the
'cause
Palladians.
Oh, the Palladians. They do feature in sort of UFO mythology, though.
Billy Meyer.
Billy Meyer. No, they're Palladians as well.
Yeah.
About
That's what you're on about.
Yeah, the Nephilim.
Oh, the Nephilim.
They do feature, and they certainly feature in this mythology of giants. Maybe they were responsible for the city of Erem.
Yeah, maybe.
Is Giant Gonzalez
Mm-hmm.
from the Nephilim?
Probably he was fucking huge.
And he
I
had big
remember
hairy shoulders.
He was fucking huge.
And his whole... If that costume, we were meant to believe that was his actual skin, that meant his whole groin area was just a mass of
red
red
fibrous
furry-
muscle.
And apparently Andre the Giant hated him.
Yeah,
Because he
'cause he's
stole
bigger
his
than-
intro where he'd walk over the ropes.
Yes. And
He was-
apparently Andre didn't like any other big people.
No.
He was a real cunt to other big people.
I
Can't blame
think
him though.
Giant Gonzalez was
You should
probably
watch-
bigger than
He
Andre.
was taller, I think.
You should
Definitely.
watch that HBO documentary.
Yeah, I've heard it's awesome.
It is awesome. Sad. But awesome.
Even the girl at work who has no interest in wrestling randomly watched that and told me she'd watched it and it was really good and sad. And I was like, yeah, Andre. I think she watched it because of The Princess Bride, maybe.
Yeah, it could have been.
Anyway, that's a tangent. What are we on about? Nephilims
Nephilims.
and Giant Gonzalez. Are they real?
Probably
sure.
not.
Maybe. Could they have been? Are they confused? Because the Nordics were supposed to be big, weren't they? And strong.
Yeah.
And powers. Could have been, again, like we said, interpretations. Nordic, Nephilim.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of...
Well, it'd be interesting to know what the tallest skeleton ever found.
Well, then you see you fall into traps with all those people who say there are literal giants.
So I mean, ones that have been recorded.
Yeah.
And you know, the ones that
proven to not
yeah.
be made of paper mache or plasticine.
Because
Sorry for the noise.
these things were meant to be sort of between 10 and 40 feet.
That's bollocks, isn't it?
40 feet's too big. 10 feet. I'd
Yeah,
go
their
for.
ankles would shatter.
I'd go for 10 feet. I'd go considerably taller than a man. Yeah.
But
not-
back then,
10
everyone
feet was the
shorter
tallest,
anyway.
that tallest gorilla that existed. What was it called?
Gigantopithecus.
That's the one. Well remembered.
and there's a
I don't know
giant
much.
sloth that was pretty big as
Yeah,
well.
that way,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, they were huge things. The atmosphere was different, wasn't it, back then, to
Lot of
sustain all
oxygen,
these
yeah.
giant creatures. I don't know. I don't think I can go with this just because it's fucking Bible.
But maybe that's why we got tall people now, because the Nephillim have spread their seed. All basketball players are Nephillim, and the giant Gonzalez, and Andy the Giant,
Well, if you chase them back far enough, maybe they are.
and Hulk Hogan.
Well, these god people probably believe that, don't they?
Andre the Giant was giganticism, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had and so is the Big Show. But the difference with the Big Show is he actually had the operation on his gland to stop him, but Andre never did,
He
and so his
refused to,
organs
yeah.
continued to grow, wasn't it, and stuff inside him.
Yeah.
They knew he would die, basically. All his life, he knew he would die young, so he partied hardy and tried to enjoy himself, but he was quite
Drank
In
a
a lot
lot
of
of
pain.
it.
yeah, in a lot of pain. But the Big Show had it sort of dealt with, the gland, when he was, I think, 18 or 15 maybe. So he sort of stopped at 6'10", and he's kind of normal proportions. And his
Yeah.
organs aren't continuing to grow inside him, which is useful for staying alive. He's just a big dude.
He's a big dude,
Yeah.
give him that.
So, tall people exist.
They do.
Do 40-foot people tall exist?
No.
Have they ever?
Well, apparently not. I
Yeah.
mean, you got David and Goliath. How tall was Goliath? He's going to be a giant.
But men were a lot shorter back then, weren't they?
They were,
So
yeah.
Somebody who was like 6'6" could have been considered a giant if everyone else was 5'3".
Well, I think the Romans, we're talking, you know, a couple of thousand years ago. I'm sure none of them were really they're all sort of 5'5", 5'6" tops. It wasn't until obviously farming and stuff improved and people got a better diet that. But then again, there's always the odd genetic freak thrown up, isn't there?
So somebody a foot taller would probably, that's
Little
where's
John.
your Goliath. Little John, yeah, he's probably just
Robin
6'3", 4", you know what
Yeah.
I mean? If everyone else is 5'6", like he's fucking big, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's a fucking tall dude. He's no hiding him in a crowd.
So I don't know. My verdict is I think I'm more open to Nordics and aliens than I am Bible Nephillim, and I know religious people listening might be annoyed with me for that, but that's just the way I am. I'm just, you know, I don't put much weight on what the Bible says, but I do put weight on what weird random internet sites say.
It's your Bible.
Sue me. Yeah, that's my verdict. What are you saying, boys, on the Nephillim?
Yeah, I do like the idea that it's fallen angels or aliens who pop down to breed with beautiful earth women. I like that.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah,
Very metal.
I'll write a song about it.
Yeah, man.
Rise of the Nephillim.
What do you think, Mike? You a Nephilim believer?
I'm not buying it.
Fair enough. So what we got next? We got more weird beasties from the Bible.
Yeah, the top 12. Satires. Satire's dead, we all know that.
Hey.
What's a satires?
Well, you're probably already somewhat familiar with these creatures from Greek mythology. No?
No, I'm not.
Woodland creatures with the hooves and lower body of a goat, along with its ears and tail. Satires are notorious, raucous, lustful and drunken.
Raucous.
Lovers of every sort of physical pleasure. They're also well known for their iconic set of musical instruments, called panpipes, after the legendary Greek god known for taking this form. You'll find these creatures mentioned twice in the book of Isaiah, and also the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, Mr. Tumnus. That's what I'm thinking.
No way.
We're going for Pan. We'll just call him Pan, basically Pan. Goat Man.
Well, I've never heard of them things. Again, like I said, never
But
read
then again,
Bible.
Satan, Goat Man.
Miniature
Miniature
sons of
Devils,
Satan.
yeah.
We've got a fiery flying serpent. Who doesn't love one of them? Often mistakenly referred to as a cockatrice in King James V printings, a more accurate modern translation of the description of a creature only fleetingly appeared a couple of times in a single book of the Bible. Isaiah is a fiery flying serpent, and there is virtually no physical description or information about the creature in either of the two mentions. It receives, however, nor is it clear whether this...
Whether
or not this flying serpent is related to the fiery serpents which cannot fly mentioned in Deuteronomy and Numbers, which are books of the Bible. God, this is bringing back primary school.
Of course, you went to a religious school, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Church of England. It annoys me I can still remember the Lord's Prayer. It was drilled into me every morning.
It's ironic because one day you're probably going to end up shooting up a school
Oh!
in a religious massacre.
That's harsh.
I'm joking, you won't.
Work, yeah. Probably.
You won't. Right.
You're not going to get the gun. Actually, that's really bad taste. There's been a couple of mass shootings recently.
You didn't have to draw attention to it. I apologise.
Oh, this one's quite cool. Lamassu. Lamassu and Shidu are male and female versions of Assyrian deities of protection, which appear as massive oxen or lions with the wings of a great bird of prey and the head of a human being.
Awesome.
Due to their role in ancient mythology, you would often find their representations stationed at entrances to palaces, cities, and other important places. Almost always placed as a pair of sentinels side by side, they somewhat resemble sphinxes, but can easily be differentiated by their more active posture and differing physical features. You can find them referred to as devils in the Book of Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
What
the devil is that?
It's a fucking cool protection god.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, in the picture it's got 4 arms and
4 swords.
Yeah. A lion's body, a chick's top. She's barely covering her tits. It's amazing.
You Luddite.
It's the sort of smash looms,
it's,
Gaz.
It's the sort of thing you would see
on the side of a van.
Or the back of a fat 50-year-old man's denim jacket.
Or the side of a van.
Yeah, it's his van.
It's classic van art. I'll give it that. It's fucking amazing. Oh, what we got next? The lion-headed men of Moab. And Moab, massive ordnance aerial bombs, something like that.
Oh yeah, mother of all bombs.
Mother of all bombs, yes. Why did I know that? That's terrible. In the Book of Samuel, you can find a reference to one Ben-Haleah, the son of Jehoiada, a warrior and valiant man. One of his notable achievements was his slaying of 2 lion-like men of the nearby civilization of the Moab. Animal-headed people of different are one of the most frequent supernatural representations of the ancient world, as the oldest known zoomorphic sculpture on Earth can clearly attest. Found in the Stadel cave in Germany, 32,000-year-old figurine represents a half-man, half-lion hybrid quite similar to those mentioned in the Bible.
Awesome.
But, as we know from the ancient Egyptians, we love putting animal heads on bodies. We love it. Especially
it
the
looks
gods.
Fucking awesome. It looks like a He-Man figure.
But what if the gods just turned up, right, and they've got these fucking cool space helmets? They're in the form of lions and wolves and jackals and birds and things like that. Yeah, much the way our fighter pilots have names like Hawk and Falcon and shit like that.
You're thinking of Stargate, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
It's still a great film, that, isn't it?
It always comes back to Stargate with you.
Was a good film, most Stargate in the day.
But still, what if it's like their fancy, like their space helmets? They just fashion them into something that's their image.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking lions.
They're space celebrities,
space
for God's sake.
Yeah,
If they're space celebrities, if they just turned up with their normal faces on show, everyone used to be like, oh, look at that tall dude. It's a Nephillim. Look at that. He's like, no, we're not Nephillim. Yeah, you are. You're really tall. They turn up with like fucking falcon masks and snarling wolf masks. Everyone's got to respect them just a little bit more.
It's true. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Oh wow, this one's fun. Fire-breathing, lion-headed horses. Don't see many of them about.
Wow.
They didn't make it. I don't know why.
They're in the fossil record.
They would have been a super predator.
Like man-bear pig.
Yeah.
Like a mega predator, like uber predator
Yeah.
or something.
Well, funnily enough, this comes to the Book of Revelation. You can probably argue that John...
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but John was certainly taking a lot of strong hallucinogenics on that little island where he was living alone, wearing a cloth around his nuts,
A lot of ayahuasca.
growing a massive beard. You know.
Good.
So we've got this to look forward to. If we...
Well, there we go. Much of the strangest material in the Bible comes from its final book, Revelation. Well, yeah, as I've explained, a lot of hallucinogenics. And the fire-breathing, lion-headed horses featured in a verse there are certainly no exception. Towards the end of the process of the opening of the 7 seals, a demonic army commanded by the Prince of Hell, known as Abaddon, is cleansing the earth of its remaining population. Their mounts are horrific are horrific horse-like creatures with breastplates made of fire. That'd sting. I don't know what that next word is. Jacinth and brimstone. 1/3 of the people remaining on earth at this point are then killed by the fire, smoke and brimstone the mounts of this demonic army breathe into the atmosphere. As God's wrath begins to draw to a climax, the demons haven't even started in yet.
Wow.
So first you've got these fucking things showing up.
The Prince of Hell?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The seven
things
seals.
Things are getting real at that point, aren't they? Like,
Well, as soon as that seventh seal breaks, that's fucking it. I mean, boom.
Fuck me.
It's not good.
No. Wouldn't fancy trying to fight one of them off with a lamp. As it bursts into my front room. Oh shit, I've got a lamp next to me. It's not that meme, is it? There's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
One burst to your door. The thing to your left is your closest weapon. You're like, that's a TV remote. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. Oh man. Well,
Oh,
who's next?
dragons.
Ah, yes. Or dinosaurs.
Maybe. Perhaps the most frequently mentioned of all supernatural creatures in the Bible is that of the dragon. Several dozen verses refer to dragons of different types. In almost 10 different books of the Bible, Isaiah, Deuteronomy, Nehemiah, Psalms, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Micah, Malachi, and almost half of the total references, including most of the specific information being presented in Revelation. Hallucinogenics. In Revelation, Satan himself takes the form of a great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, whose tail sweeps away 1/3 of the stars in heaven, just as he convinced 1/3 of the angels of the heavenly host to rebel against God. The dragon tries time and time again to attack and devour a woman and her child, representing the nation of Israel and Jesus Christ, but is repeatedly thwarted by the power of God and the armies of the Archangel Michael. Now, why isn't that a fucking film?
Yeah.
I'd go and watch that.
Sounds good to me.
Metal's fucking it.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, less metal next is the...
It's the unicorn. Which one? No, next is Brexit. It's the unicorn. We were promised unicorns. Got Nigel Farage, the dildo struck to his head. The average person probably thinks of the unicorn as something more from a fairy tale. Believe it or not, they are mentioned in more than 5 separate books of the Bible. Numbers, Deuteronomy, Job, Psalms and Isaiah. They are most clearly mentioned when God is speaking with Job. He refers to the characteristics of a number of his different creations, such as goats, donkeys, horses, dogs, eagles and other animals we're familiar with. He then casually mentions unicorns. Yeah, you know me, I'm God, I am, mate. Job, come here, let me tell you, right, I'm God. You know, I made dogs, eagles, horses, donkeys, unicorns. Okay, right.
I get anything you want, mate.
Anything you want,
Get an horse, stick an horn on its head, bang.
Unicorn.
Kids will love it, mate. Trust me.
Sell the t-shirts, stamp me later. You do parties, kids parties and everything. He casually mentions unicorns and how, despite their great strength, they're not fit for agricultural work or aiding mankind with their labour.
But they taste bloody lovely.
Unicorn. I want a unicorn pizza now.
Pulled unicorn.
Oh, a pulled unicorn bap. Oh, you don't want to bear the horn though, do you? You don't want to bear the horn getting in there.
Wow.
What a unicorn coffee.
You have that shredded.
Shredded horn, it melts like cheese. Oh!
Magical cheese. Rainbow cheese.
Oh wow, every cheese flavour under the sun combined into one rainbow flavoured cheese.
I'd eat a My Little Pony.
Oddly, the construction of God's argument to Job loses meaning if we were not describing a real creature in these passages, which has led to some scholars to believe that unicorns in the Bible are either mistranslations or that some sort of one-horned equine may have actually existed at some point in the past.
What?
But they were so useless they just died out.
Yeah, they killed them.
Well, they killed them. Let's carry on then. The behemoth.
Big
Definitely one of the most imposing beasts appearing anywhere in the Bible is the beast of epic proportions known as Behemoth. Behemoth is the king of all creatures on the land. Much as Leviathan, who appears a bit later on our list, is sovereign over all creatures in the sea. A relatively thorough description of him can be found in the book of Job. Simple movements of its tail are moving a cedar tree. We've had that, haven't we?
Yep.
So, yeah. And he's so big, he's capable of drinking the River Jordan dry in just a few leisurely sips.
Wow.
Perhaps most incredible of all, the majesty of God has rendered Behemoth docile, eating grass just as an ox would, despite all its fearsome proportion and potential.
That was a herbivore.
It's a bit fucking inconvenient if a tribe of them rock up and drink your river dry, don't it?
And eat a forest.
And eat a forest, and eat all your crops.
It's not very conservationally minded. Selfish pricks.
That's it.
Yeah.
Seraphim.
I've heard of these ones actually.
The translation of seraphim is burning ones, and they're the highest ranking type of angel and named this way because they're said to be literally burning with their love of God. Despite being mentioned in 10 different books of the Bible,
You don't need to go through them all.
I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isaiah, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Psalms, Ezekiel and Hebrews, actually physical descriptions of angels are actually pretty tough to come by, as only fully described in one set of verses, those in Isaiah, where he views them in his vision of heaven. They have 6 wings, 2 of which they use to hide their faces to prevent themselves from being destroyed by directly viewing God in all his majesty, which are loosely dogma. Mortals can't hear the word of God or it'll blow their heads up.
Yeah.
That's why she sends Alan Rickman to do her bidding. Mind you, if Alan Rickman showed up as an angel, I'd be inclined to believe whatever he said.
Certainly.
2 to hide their feet, which are unclean, and 2 to fly around above the throne of God. They constantly sing hymns and glorify him. In fact, the well-known chorus of Holy, Holy, Holy originates from their lyrics. So God's a bit of a narcissist, which we didn't already know. Created an entire bunch of things to hide their faces and feet, while simultaneously flapping around him, praising him.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Anyone
He
down
is
for
God.
that?
If I was God, maybe.
It's one hell of an ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too right.
Well, he did create.
Then again, he's always bragging to people, isn't he? Like he was earlier. You know, look what I created.
Fucking
Dogs, hyenas, foxes, what have you done?
Yeah. Unicorns.
Yeah.
Casually
Puts it in.
puts it in.
I shoveled some shit.
Got a dung farm.
What you got? Who's next?
Leviathans.
Number 2.
Number 2. One of the best described and most fearsome creatures mentioned in the Bible. The word Leviathan has come today to refer to almost any large sea creature or monster. But the original wasn't a class by itself. It is extensively described in the book of Job. Terrible teeth all around its face. Scales so tightly sealed together that no air can come between them. He exudes an aura of bright light. Out of his mouth come sparks of fire and burning lamps. He breathes smoke, his flesh and heart are as firm and as hard as stone, and he laughs at all weapons and attacks, treating iron as straw and brass as rotten wood. He can boil the ocean until it becomes like a pot of ointment. He was made without fear, and is king over all the prideful children of earth, and metal as fuck.
If he exists, definitely metal as fuck, but it sounds a bit Marvel Comics to me.
Well, I don't know, I'm liking that. I'm thinking one of them big flying things from Avengers 1.
It does basically, the depiction that we were looking at in this article shows basically a giant basking shark.
You could argue that what's his face who was swallowed by that whale could have been swallowed by a Leviathan.
Jonah.
That's him.
Wouldn't it have just boiled him?
Well, yeah, I suppose it would have, wouldn't it? It must have been a whale then. The last one is the cherubim.
In one.
It's the cherubim. These days, if you think cherub, you're probably thinking of a pushy little guy who kind of looks like a baby flying around with 2 tiny little wings. If you look more closely at the descriptions of the cherub in the Bible, you'd be astounded at the difference. Mentioned in 2 books, Genesis and Ezekiel, he's got a boat, hasn't he, Ezekiel? Pretty sure he saw flaming wheels of fire coming towards him.
High as fuck.
Yeah, most of his prophets probably were. They've been eating some herbs
They
out
all
in the
were.
desert, and these creatures are anything but cute. They are instead fearsome and devoted warriors of God. Their first appearance is guarding the path to the tree of life, armed with flaming swords to bar the way. Later, the prophet Ezekiel recounts seeing several of them clustered around the base of the throne of God, and gives what is certainly the strongest description of any entity mentioned in the Bible. They have 4 faces, one on each side of their head, arranged in a square that are a man, ox, lion and eagle. They have 4 wings with the hands of a man under each one. Cherubs are, without a doubt, the weirdest creature appearing in the Bible. Well, yeah, I'll give it that.
Sounds like an LSD trip to me.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have had LSD. It was ayahuasca or DMT, whatever form of it they could find.
So he's lying there in the desert, like, off his fucking tits, right? And then like a tribe of people come past, and some woman holding a kid sort of leans over him and says, "You're alright," and he's seen like wings and arms and 4 faces and all this, like, yeah, I'm great. I'm great.
With strong enough hallucinogens, he wouldn't even need anyone there. He could see all this completely wild shit, come back, write it down, and then a few years later it's being passed down as if, it was a holy vision, it was a godly vision, and he didn't want to speak up and say, actually, I made a potion out of the plants.
Well, no, because he'd think it was, wouldn't he? He's gone out there as a purpose, to get a mission, get a vision.
He doesn't realise it was because he set the bush on fire.
Nah.
I've heard Joe Rogan say, I don't know if this is true, but like the acacia tree, which apparently proved to have a high DMT content, and apparently like the burning bush could have been an acacia tree, you know, giving off some incredibly wonderful dreams.
Now, is he maybe not the burning bush, because Moses had to come back with like 2 tablets with 5 commandments on each, and if he was that high, he is not chiseling stone into
Afterwards he is.
But if he didn't know where the hallucinogenic experience came from, and then he woke from it, and he was like, "Holy fuck! Get me a hammer and a chisel and a tablet."
Yeah, people remember it.
Apparently, he was given the tablets. Well, that's what he's saying, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
maybe he did chisel them while it was off his face.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I can be quite incredibly focused and I'm stoned at times.
That's probably where all this crazy shit comes from. So should we? Is that the end of our?
Yeah.
So what's your verdict on? I suppose it all depends on what your verdict on the Bible is, doesn't it? Essentially.
Well, I always go for the prophets as like the majority of them, like we've said, as being high as fucking John. Saint John of Revelation certainly was off his fucking tits. Right. I'd imagine the rest of them, like all wise men and shamans throughout history, they've all smoked something and then come back and said, right, this is how we're going to live. I've had a message from God. There you go. It's happened in every single culture throughout every single period of history.
God is in the greenery.
Yeah.
That should be a t-shirt.
Should be.
With a big reed leaf. Sorry. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think dinosaurs were around with people. I'm going to go with the fossil record on this one.
Yeah, carbon dating. You know, weirdly, we can't carbon date anything after 1950.
So it's all bollocks then? This could be true.
No. Anything before 1950.
Oh yeah, I'm an idiot.
We can't carbon date after 1950.
Okay.
Because...
We don't need to though, do we? 'Cause can't we just look at it and go, made in...
Oh yeah, but also, so future generations...
Yeah.
Because nuclear tests fucked up the carbon.
Yeah.
You fucking Russians.
And the Americans. And the Brits.
You people.
And the French.
You world
and
people.
And the Indians, and the Pakistanis.
Yeah.
And the Israelis.
Stop being dicks with nukes.
Allegedly.
Don't be dicks with nukes. That's my other t-shirt.
And Russia, lock your shit up.
Yeah.
Stop testing shit.
Stop letting Boris look after it, for fuck's sake. Oh, I dropped the missiles. Shit.
You're all incompetent. Stop procrastinating. Pick that missile up.
We will test it anyway. The wing's hanging off. Oh, fuck it. It's not worth my job.
I get promoted if this works.
It must launch. So yeah. Sorry for all that casual racism. Russia.
Weird news?
Yeah,
Weird
let's
news?
do it. I don't know why I said it like that.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Oh man, it's more seagull related news. Seagull carries away dog from garden in Devon. Why do I always get seagull related news?
Oh no, look at his name.
Oh, that was called Gizmo. Oh man. Owner appeals information after Gizmo the Chihuahua was taken from its house in Paynton.
Gizmo! Gizmo!
Oh, and he does look like Gizmo. Oh, look at his little mouth. Oh,
watching him disappear into the distance. Gizmo!
You'd be platooning at that point on your knees with your fists in the air. Gizmo!
Trying to explain to your neighbours and like your wife or whatever. The seagull! The seagull took the Gizmo! What? The seagull! A seagull? That's a seagull!
I think these seagulls are fucking wanting to scrap now, aren't they? They've been stealing our food for years. They're gradually escalating. They won't have that bloke back in his house. They're stealing testicles. They're stealing dogs. What are they up to?
It's a sign of the coming apocalypse.
What are they up to?
It's the end times.
It's the seagull apocalypse. Maybe that's my true calling on the John Connor of the seagull apocalypse. Maybe it's not the robots.
Just make sure you cover your testicles up.
Well, everyone will have some kind of testicle shield.
Protection. Oh man, okay, it's such a horrific thought thinking of you. I mean, I don't like little dogs, but you'd love if your beloved little best
imagine
friend.
if it was your cat.
And it feels like cat being carried off by a seagull.
Imagine when he was a kitten.
No, you're gonna
When he
make me
was a little
cry.
kitten.
No,
When he was a little kitten,
Horrific, isn't it?
you let him out into the garden for the first time, and a seagull just swoops down and picks him up and takes him.
Tiger! So that the kids, they'll be traumatised for the rest of their life. Where's he gone? Oh no! Oh no!
He's gone to a better place.
He hasn't, he's been fucking pecking his eyes out on the rooftop
He's
somewhere.
been eaten by seagulls.
Eaten alive.
You might find his half-devoured body in the street on the school run one day.
Or do they do it like
Half-digested skull.
Its eyes out and half a corpse.
It's like the birds of prey though, they're going to take it to a height and then drop it to kill it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Then swoop back down and pick it up again. He's letting go! He's letting go! Oh.
Oh, why do you
He
land on your
popped like
feet?
a balloon!
Why did you land on your feet? You're a cat.
His feet came out through his back.
Oh fuck.
Oh God. That's it. Kill all seagulls.
Shall we
On
know
site.
the Gaz is drinking non-alcoholic beer this week?
What do they fucking contribute to the fucking global social economy?
It's a valid point,
thing?
actually. What are they doing for the
ecosystem.
biosphere?
That's what I was trying to say. Biosphere.
Oh, ecosystems is just as good, I think.
Yeah, what do they do?
Come on, science officer,
Sorry,
enlighten
I
us.
wasn't listening. What are you saying?
What the fuck do
That's when you
seagulls
weren't listening. You
contribute?
started screaming at seagulls for the last
I was
3
just
minutes.
reading the article. Go on, what are you saying?
What the fuck do seagulls contribute?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
To kill them all!
There's shit everywhere and steal people's chips.
And dogs.
And dogs and testicles. Kill them all, burn them. Flamethrowers. That'll keep them off the fucking
Drones.
seaside.
Flamethrower mounted drones.
Oh, fuck, now you're talking my language. The great seagull cull.
And
Food for eagles, aren't they?
Oh,
Food for eagles.
we haven't got any eagles in this country.
We're about to have a few.
I think we might have, well, not big ones, but what about if, you know, the US military's retiring the A-10 Warthog tank buster thing with a massive Gatling gun?
I didn't, but continue.
They are. Tragically. What about if we buy one, surplus-wise, yeah, learn to fly, and call seagulls an A-10 Warthog tank buster?
It'd be easier to run them over in the van, Ben. And cheaper.
Fun, not as fun though.
Right, alright, here's a plan. Put some glue down so they get stuck to the
I
floor.
was gonna
Massive
say-
bunch of them, food and glue. And then I just mow a good 100 of them down.
Yeah, alright. I wanted that brrrr noise as the Gatling gun
We
goes off.
can't afford the gun, never mind the ammunition, or the
Yeah.
plane to fire it from.
Alright.
Baseball bat. Although we'd probably, if I tried to attack a seagull with a baseball bat, I have a feeling it would win.
Nah.
It might disarm me, beat me from the air.
Look, it's got the band on its beak and it's smacking,
Exactly.
hovering and smacking it in the head with it. Wrap it in barbed wire. You get one blow and he's down.
A Telford man was murdered today.
The gang of seagulls show up with other baseball
A
bats.
gang of baseball bat wielding seagulls in front of his distraught family. Specialist officers are working with the family. Oh, fuck.
Oh man.
So what happened to this little bastard?
Oh well, Becca Hill from Painters appealed for information about 4-year-old Gizmo was carried away on Sunday afternoon. She told the Devon Live website, "My partner was in the garden putting the washing out at the time, and suddenly also it swooped down. It carried Gizmo a fair way as we couldn't see him anymore. I have no idea if he was dropped or where he is now.
It is exactly the vision you painted, guys.
She also wrote, please, 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 anyone finds a chihuahua, he's mine. A seagull took it from my garden.
What if you find him in a rice? You don't want me bringing him back, love.
She
I
said
found him in 3 different places.
Her 6-year-old daughter was upset and missing the dog.
Oh, God.
At least she didn't witness it.
Yeah. Oh well, keep your dogs in.
Keep your tiny, small, or get bigger dogs.
There you go.
I mean, there's no way a seagull's taking Max off. No. Maybe a flock of them.
It'd snap his leg. If you find Max with a pair of detached seagull legs stuck to his collar, you know, or some plucky
pterodactyl couldn't take that thing.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Yeah. Kill the seagulls.
Police find suspect after he passed wind so loudly he gave himself away.
You know what?
Is this a carry-on film?
This could be me. I'd do.
It's from The Independent.
I've put myself up farting before now. I've drunk a lot of beer. There was those 20
Thanks for sharing.
Those
20 can a night nights back in the day.
Oh, God.
Wow. Would you like to continue with the story?
Didn't your ex have to sleep in a different room because you stank?
No.
I remember you telling me that.
She did go out briefly.
For like a week.
For an hour. I just went to the sofa.
Fucking hell, let's read the story.
As police were searching for a suspect wanted on drug possession, the hidden person's location was given away after they suffered from a bout of loud flatulence. If you've got a felony warrant for your arrest, the cops are looking for you and you pass gas so loud it gives up your hiding spot, you're definitely having a poop emoji day. Hashtag it happened. That's the Clay County Sheriff's Office posted to their Facebook page.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's it. That's the
enough.
article.
So if you are hiding the police and you need to fart, don't.
Yeah. Or release a silent but deadly one.
Oh yeah, police say no one was injured during the arrest.
Good.
Apart from his dignity. The only casualty there was dignity.
Yeah. Who's next? Oh dear.
Ooh.
A man who died, allegedly after eating a gecko on a dare, had rotted from the inside, family
Isn't
says.
this a follow-on article? We had the original of this because he went into a coma and died after eating a gecko on a bet.
Yeah.
And died after it, and I'm pretty sure we've had this.
Have we had this one?
No, we haven't had this one. This is a follow-on from that story, and I like a follow-on.
Okay.
An Australian family is still grieving over the unexpected loss of their father, who fell gravely ill, allegedly after eating a gecko on a dare. David Dowell was reportedly challenged to eat the small lizard at a Christmas party last year and was rushed to hospital 2 days later in absolute agony. It was a dare, but I don't know if it was a serious one. I was paying attention, but not really, because it was a Christmas party and the kids were invited. Aaliyah Bricknell, the 34-year-old's longtime partner, told 7news.com. Bricknell told the news outlet that she is still searching for answers as to what happened to the father of 3 months after his death. She also said that while his friends did dare him to eat it, she didn't actually watch him put the lizard in his mouth. We don't know 100% how he passed, but on the actual death certificate it did say ingestion of a gecko, so I'm assuming it was that.
Wow.
She said. His sister told the paper that the day after he arrived at the hospital, doctors diagnosed him with salmonella. She said that the family initially suspected it was related to chicken, but then Bricknell remembered the dare and shared it with doctors. Dowell's symptoms had rapidly progressed to include vomiting, massive abdominal swelling and the fluid in his lungs.
Ooh.
His family reportedly told News.com that doctors said he basically rotted from the inside out. He died on December 11th, less than 2 weeks after accepting the challenge.
Reptiles can be a cause of human salmonella despite appearing healthy and clean, the Centres for Disease Control and Prevention said. Does not recommend keeping reptiles around children younger than 5 or those with a weakened immune system and older adults.
Don't fucking eat them.
It also advises keeping reptiles and their equipment out of the kitchen or any place where food is prepared, served or consumed. Don't kiss or snuggle with reptiles and amphibians because this can increase your risk of getting
fucking
sick.
French kissing a toad?
Yeah, but I bet you people let their snakes lick them and things like that.
Well, fuck 'em. I think that concludes the news for this week.
Yep.
Alright, so let's play Full Alex. It's the favourite game show in this flat. And basically Mike finds us some clips of some random weirdos and he pits them against the arch saint of insanity himself, Alex Jones. See who goes more full Alex. Remember, it's alright to go a little bit Alex, quarter Alex, half Alex, 3/4 Alex on a train, but never go full Alex.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
So, who's up first?
First up, we got Mary Colbert.
Oh,
She's a
newcomer.
Yeah, she says that God used a horse race to confirm Trump will become president.
Interesting. Let's see how this goes down.
You guys were one of the first to hear this prophecy about Donald Trump becoming president. And I didn't realize it was several years back that prophecy was first given to the firemen.
Yes, back in 2011.
Right.
And he gave it to me in 2015 when I was seeing him as a patient. He just came by and said, after I'd seen him and talked to him, and then I was ready to leave the room. And of course, when the very last thing he says, well, Dr. Colbert, here's this prophecy that the Lord gave me back in 2011. When you get time, just read about it and then just kind of tell me what you think about it, kind of like nonchalant. So I went to my office and I read it, and then I said, this is amazing. So I went to my wife and said, Mary, I want you to read this prophecy. This is the most unusual thing I've ever read. And so when she read it, her eyes got this big, and she says, this is God. She says, this has the rhythm of the Holy Spirit in it.
Yeah, see, I was a big Ted Cruz supporter.
Yeah.
I loved what I heard, and I thought, this is great. We've got a true conservative,
Yes.
Who's a godly man. And so I guess the Spirit of God knew. It's like, wait a minute. That's not who I've chosen, And because that's what I felt when I read the prophecy. It was like a Holy Ghost slap in my face. And I just stood there and went, Father, if this is who you want, I'm getting behind who you want.
Yes.
Amen.
And because when you get on God's side, you're on the right side.
Amen.
Every single time.
Amen. Amen. Tell about when you were in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that girl that helped you at your birth table.
It was so amazing. See, during the election, things got really heated. It was bad. For me, as a person, coming with things that happened to me as a child and standing with this man in spite of what he was saying, I knew I needed to hear the Holy Spirit confirm to me. I need you to confirm to me that this is who you have chosen. Please tell me. And in a dream, I had this impression. There was going to be a big horse race in 2 weeks. The Belmont Stakes race was in 2 weeks. And the next morning I get up and I go, Don, I've got this strong feeling I'm supposed to watch the horse race in 2 weeks.
She never has watched the horse race.
I don't ride horses. I don't own a horse. It was out of the blue. So the day of the race, I got distracted and forgot to watch. I got so many things going on, you can't imagine. But yet it was on my mind. My staff knew, everybody who knew me, that I'm sure they were going to call and say, Mary, what was the message? And I forgot. And so I went to the computer and I put in Belmont horse race to find out what was the message I missed. I was supposed to catch. And the headlines come up. And if you Google it today, this is what comes up. Belmont horse race 2016. The headline, CNN, creator wins by a photo finish.
Now the Holy Spirit gave her that in a dream.
I sat there and I sat back on my computer.
How you doing over there, Ben?
You're really going to do
punchline.
this.
That's it.
This was June 11th, 2016.
Can we stop this crazy
And
lady,
so
please?
I was like, okay, sir, I just thank you for that confirmation. Now this is what's amazing. The horse, you Google it and find out, the horse that Creator beat out by a photo finish, the horse's name was Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't make this stuff up.
No.
Ugh. nose so far.
Hey!
Oh, dear me.
Good
And you
old
had
Johnny
Mark
Cook,
Taylor, firefighter prophet, in there as well. Her husband, who's a doctor. I don't know if that actually saying that didn't say MD, did it? Could be a doctor of fucking Christian theology for all we know. I could probably get one of them if I was sent away for it and paid them fucking $200.
Ah, fucker.
Oh,
Right, who's next?
my God.
What was it again? Who won it? Creator
beat Destiny.
Yeah. That's how she
By a
knew.
nose.
That's how she knew Trump was going to be the president.
Which she was doing for Ted Cruz before, who's we all know the Zodiac killer.
Mm.
Eesh.
Oh, this prick.
Oh, Rick Wiles.
Yep, he's saying that Tom Brady is sleeping with a witch. Do you know who Tom Brady is?
Yeah, the football,
yeah,
American
yeah.
football, best of all time, apparently. The
Isn't he
GOAT.
like Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard kind of guy?
No,
greatest
he's kind of
greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know nothing about American football. I know who he
Oh,
is.
yeah, me too.
I watched the Super Bowl once and turned it off before half time because I couldn't understand when they're wearing the body armour.
I just don't know it. I don't understand
Your
it.
one
Okay.
tackle, game stops, you're like, well, fuck's sake, rugby players. Yeah.
Okay,
Pussies.
let's see what this fucking knob says.
Yeah.
It's obvious Tom Brady has no spiritual discernment at all. It's obvious that he's spiritually lost. He's being led through life by a witch. He thinks it's cute. He thinks it's, pardon the pun, charming, and he thinks it works because he keeps winning. Does it work?
Yes, he keeps winning.
Obviously.
Really interesting question. She said, look what he said. She said, I did my work. Yes. You did your work. You're lucky you married a witch. A good witch, though. She's, yeah. Aren't all witches good?
He believes,
Right?
He believes
They all
she's
say they're good.
a soothsayer. He thinks she's a soothsayer. He trusts her, right?
Yeah. And he sleeps with her. He's sleeping with a witch. There's deep spiritual ramifications for that. He's sleeping with a witch. Right. His soul is defiled because he's having intimate relations with a witch.
We get it, we know what that means.
He's having a damn good time, though,
Not
isn't he?
just somebody who has some goofy New Age ideas. She's a witch. Right.
Thinks she's a witch, and I think Tom Brady's sleeping with her.
And I bet 2,000 years ago Christianity was a goofy, weird idea.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
What a fucking.
And he's like,
The thing is, he's like, well, is it working? And he's like, well,
keeps winning.
again, he's winning. He's like, well, yeah, there you go, then.
That's a really great question. Oh, fuck him.
He's the most successful American football player of modern era.
History. Ever, I think.
I don't know. I was just going to go with modern history to be safe. And he's like, you see the witch one, how's that working out for him? Yeah, pretty good. I mean, that's basically what I think he's jealous. He's not sleeping with a witch.
I think for a minute he was thinking
He's obsessed with it.
Yeah.
How many times did he say, he's sleeping with a witch?
Yeah.
He's sleeping with a witch. He's having intimate relations. Yeah, we know what sleeping with means. You fucking stop thinking about it.
His
He's stuck
soul's-
in a porn loop.
But his soul's been defiled.
Isn't it a visual wank bank loop he got stuck in there? He's
I think
sleeping
that's
with
what
a
it
witch.
because
He's sleeping.
I don't know.
He's sleeping with a witch.
I don't know who Tom Brady's
Oh.
missus is. Can we do?
She's
I'm gonna
bound
look.
to be absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Alright, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna find out now. I'm gonna find out just out of interest.
I'm gonna guess she's slim. Model type, possibly large in the chest area.
She is called Gazelle Bündchen, and she's a
She's a
Brazilian
supermodel.
model, actress, and environmentalist.
Of course she is.
Well, with a name like Gazelle Bündchen, I'm guessing the woman's a bit of a Nazi war criminal history back in the past. It's Argentinian with a German, Brazilian with a German name. I'm sorry. Come on. Maybe great
She's a
granddad.
witch.
And really good
And she's a witch.
genetics.
And she's into the occult.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's sleeping with a witch.
Hitler's granddaughter.
Also, actually, they are one of the most successful power couples ever. Combined net worth of $580 million.
So it's working out pretty well.
So it's going pretty well for him, isn't it? And I think Rick Wiles is jealous of that.
He was for a moment, wasn't he? We've killed Ben.
Oh man. Well, for comedy value, he's winning straight away.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the...
Because I don't think I've seen a man doubt his own message so long on the show.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
He saw his mind working then, didn't you? And he was like, oh fuck, am I going to get out of this one? Oh, he solved the file!
But if he's winning...
He's winning so far.
Right.
Alex Jones, Michael Moore rant, self-propelled blubber butt. It's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah. The classic Alex.
Somebody like... Oh, who's the giant blubber creature? Michael Moore. I was having a Freudian block there. Somebody like the self-propelled blubber butt, who has got hundreds of millions of dollars, is a lying scumbag, hypocrite, globalist, and knows exactly what he's doing. I'm going to call him out on the other side and break down what's really happening in Wisconsin. You know, it turns out Blubber Blub has, and I remember this in the news years ago, but I looked up this morning and there it was. Blubber Blub has made his films in different states where he can avoid the union rates. Blubber Boy, and I'm not making fun of his obeseness. I'm a little overweight. I'm making fun of his psychic obeseness. This guy came out, owned massive amounts of stock in Halliburton and defense contractors, knowingly ahead of the Iraq war, while he was bad-mouthing him. Folks, you know how, I know what to invest in. Prison companies, bioengineering, police state. I don't invest in it because I'm not a hypocritical bloodsucker. Anyways, we're going to come back and break down what's really happening with all of this straight ahead. Then it goes into the energy.
So, are you guessing that one of the archpriests of the anti-war movement in Iraq, Michael Moore, owns shares in various defence companies in Halliburton?
So he says.
So Alex Jones
I've not
says.
seen any evidence to that.
I would like to hazard a guess that Alex maybe has a few shares in Halliburton defence companies, that kind of thing.
I don't know. He's definitely got shares in dodgy fucking home remedy style fucking.
Oh, and don't forget body armour.
Body armour and nuclear bunkers that won't survive a nuclear attack.
No one's going to be around to complain, Gaz. It won't matter.
That's very true. I think for me, do you want to run through them before?
Yeah. Mary Colbert says God's used a racehorse, and we also had heavy hitter Mark Johnson, the firefighter prophet, on there.
Mentioned, yeah.
Mentioned. He was there.
Was he?
I think he was there on the other side of the guy, yeah. Apparently, Destiny beat Fate. Some racehorse fucking beat another.
Creator beat Destiny.
Creator beat Destiny, and that means apparently that Trump's going to become president. She was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Comedy value, the second guy, just for the
Definitely.
Rick Wiles, just for well, he's still with a witch. How's that working for him? Pretty well. But she's surviving his soul. They're worth 580 million quid.
She's a Brazilian supermodel. He's won more Super Bowls than anybody else.
And look at him. He's an old bloke in a grey shirt.
You fucking tubby lump of shit poured into a cheap fucking poorly fitting suit. You absolute...
At that point, he really wanted to swap places with Tom Brady.
You can see his mind ticking over, and that's why he has my vote. Alex is just like,
yeah, fuck it.
Probably taking some distraction away from his own shady business deals by having a go at Michael Moore.
But not his obeseness.
Not calling him blubber butt over and over again, or variations of
blubber butt, blub blub.
Yeah. He's
self-propelled blubber butt.
Maybe
I'm not attacking the man's physical obesity. Psychic obesity.
Maybe he's also thinking, wow, he's making more money than me at this point. I'm going to attack him.
But is that like if he called somebody the N-word and he's like, I'm not attacking your physical skin colour, it's your psychic skin colour. Fucking hell, Alex, you can't back out of shit like that. It doesn't work. It's piss poor logic.
No, yeah. I'm going for Rick because he's.
Oh, me too. Fuck it.
It's just to see his mind pause, implode on itself, and then reform in...
And then desperately try not to think about pounding that sweet Brazilian supermodel's gorgeous rear backside.
In your Hollywood mansion.
Yeah, fuck.
You know, with your supercars and the life of luxury that... You know, you've earned off your various talents rather than...
Who's doing better, Rick? He who sleeps with
the Brazilian model, the most successful American football player ever.
Or is it you, Rick?
Or is it you, Rick? With your plain Amish
with
wife.
What you've got. It's him, isn't it, Rick?
Red Dwarf, boys of the Dwarf.
We should all be sleeping with witches immediately.
Yes!
If that is the secret to global
If it means
sports
I'm
domination.
going to be living in my mansion with my hot witch wife, and my $580 million in the bank, which is only getting more as I progress through my footballing career and get my sponsorship adverts. Yeah.
So
I'm down for Rick on this one. Rick
got
wins.
it for me.
Yeah, just for the fact that he had no fucking idea what to say after that. How did you do it for him?
Yeah, he was fucked.
Pretty well.
So, I think that's full, Alex. Then.
There's a couple of related articles from the Sunday Sport, which you
we're
might
going to
find
go to the
interesting.
headlines. If you're up for it.
Well, I guess so.
Bong. Rose West had boiled eggs in her underpants.
Doesn't surprise me.
Bong. Trump. Bring me the goat that bummed Bin Laden.
Yes, apparently he wants to bestow the Congressional Medal of Honor upon said goat.
Wow.
Bong. Randy Paul Hollywood dwarf chased off campsite by angry husbands.
She points out Paul Hollywood is a chef on the Great British Bake Off. I'm sure it's broadcaster in the world on the BBC.
Yeah.
So a dwarf lookalike of Paul Hollywood was chased off a campsite by the husbands of the wives he was trying to seduce.
What a guy.
You can't really argue, can you? You gotta make the most of things.
Bong. Did MI6 geese down Putin's death rocket?
Oh, that's the rocket we had earlier.
It was
did
geese.
Did MI6 trained geese throw that rocket off course and somehow manage to create some kind of radiation disaster which we're not fully aware of the consequences yet? Well done, MI6. Well done. Please don't assassinate me later.
Good work.
This is the Rose West article. Bong. Prison screws found a cheese and pickle sandwich and 2 boiled eggs in Rose West's giant bush.
How big is her bush?
Oh shit.
Sherwood Forest down there?
At least they didn't find a dead child.
Well, yes.
Mike's just been distracted by the naked
All
ladies
its
in the
paper is tits.
It's naked breasts and headlines.
Bong. Kim Jong-un spotted at Brighton Pride.
The best of it is, the photo was just a man in a mask. It's blatantly a man in a paper mask. But no, Kim Jong-un has somehow managed to sneak into the United Kingdom completely unnoticed and
That's news.
go to Brighton and take part in their Pride Parade.
Well, it's a world famous party destination.
Bong. Drunk says it's 2001.
Yeah, because we're taking... What? We're taking his word for it.
Time travel.
Drunk. See the... Oh, right, okay, the last... That means I'm 18 years younger.
That's a headline.
That's a headline.
Article. Bong. Serial killers died of septic ball bags.
That one, definitely.
Bong. I've stockpiled 27 chomps up my arse before the bastards shrink them.
A chomp is a chocolate bar for the international list.
Quite a chunky chocolate bar.
That's 27 of them up his bum. That's impressive.
Now Mike's just looking at the 78 special of celebrities topless.
There we have the Sunday Sport headlines for the week.
Well, Google
I
it.
felt so bad buying that for the show.
You should.
I actually... The front page is like a semi-topless lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so bad that I folded it over the other way So she was covered and displayed the barcode to her with
the football headline.
With the football headline on the other side, so she wouldn't see what I was buying, even though she probably knew.
But she could still smell
But
the
you know what?
pervert on you. Because when she scanned it, it came up on the till and said Daily Sport.
Oh shit, yeah, Sunday Sport.
Would you like your receipt, sir?
No, I don't.
Fuck no.
Burn it. Keep it over there. Oh.
Well, that was fun.
Oh man, it was it's the first I ever bought a Sunday Sport, in all fairness, because I have internet porn. Should I feel the need for that?
There you go.
I used to read them. I used to find them in the woods.
But they were left by older, more considerate perverts. Right,
There's an age of sharing back then. Oh man, that brings us back to Jeffrey.
Oh yes. Right, I think we should wrap this bad boy up.
So in conclusion, Dinosaurs of the Bible, it's bollocks.
Yeah.
And
don't eat geckos.
And Rick Wiles don't eat geckos. And Rick Wiles is the most confused man on Full Alex today.
Yep. In history.
Yep. So I'm going to say thanks for listening. Follow us on Facebook, please. Going to the Bull and the Post of the Apocalypse. Twitter is Apocalypse Bull. What else we got? You can find us on Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, anywhere really you can find a podcast. YouTube as well at Apocalypse Bull.
Yeah, man.
Solar Warden Music.
Yeah.
See our side band project. So I've been Ben. I'm going to say thank you. Don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I've been Gaz. I'm going to say please subscribe to Sewage Pipe Gaming on YouTube and Free Biff Tannen.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. Force be with you.